And I think it was Thoreau who said, many men spend their entire lives fishing, not realizing it's not the fish they're after. I don't know why I'm thinking about this today, but got about a 45-minute hike to one of my favorite fishing spots. Hopefully the fish are there today. But it made me think, like, why do we go fishing? Why do you go fishing? What is it that you're looking for? Now, I don't know what Thoreau meant. I had a professor in college, Dr. Grimes, who used to insist that he knew what all the authors meant. In fact, I had one paper that we went back and forth for half a semester on, because I told him that while he was old, he had no idea what John Donne meant when he wrote that poem, because he told me my interpretation was wrong. And I stuck by my guns. He ended up giving me an A on the paper, very last day of the semester. And what he told me was, he's like, I don't agree with your perspective, but I agree with the way you stuck by what you believe in. And so I think fishing is kind of like that too. Maybe it means something different to you than it does to me. For me, I think there's a lot of layers to it. I've said many times, I even wrote a whole blog post on this, that fishing is kind of like meditation to me. It's like, how do you unplug? How do you let your mind clear? When I'm at home, when I'm around technology, I'm always thinking, and I get this idea in my head, and information is at our fingertips today. And so I'll just go out and, I'll stop in the middle. TV commercial comes on, forget it. Like, I'm going to pick up my phone, I'm going to go to the computer, and I'm going to look up something that's on my mind. Even if it's just, hey, what was the name of that actor? Because we can. But when I'm out on the water, when I'm trying to figure out how to catch the fish, when I'm trying to make that perfect cast, I'm not thinking about any of that other stuff. And so it's just this way to clear my mind and kind of reset. And then as the weather warms up and you're getting in the water and you're actually, you're wet with the fish, you're standing in their environment, I think it just adds another layer to, that connection with nature. I think God created us to enjoy nature. We shouldn't be cooped up in buildings and offices virtually every day of the week. And so, when I quit working almost 4.5 years ago now, I quit that job, I told some of my friends the only thing I want to do is go fishing. And I really didn't know why at the time, but it was just on that first Monday where instead of going to the office, I went fishing. It's kind of like this symbol of freedom. Like, it was signified. This is, the next day, this is the first day, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, of the rest of my life. And it's going to be different. Now, after a couple years, things started picking up on YouTube. And I started thinking, well, maybe I can just go fishing every day. And so, I think that's part of what fishing is for me. It really is it's freedom. That's the next layer. It's a symbol of that freedom for me, that I kind of worked my butt off. I broke free from the need to be in the office all the time. And then I think the other part of it for me is on a recent video, and I apologize, I don't remember who said this, but you'll know who you are. Somebody said that, bait finesse and ultralight fishing just kind of feels more primal. And I'm like, yeah, I think some of us may be searching for something that takes us closer to that primal connection with nature. You know, I think of using heavy power rods and catching a 1-pound bass and basically making them ski across the surface of the water. And that makes sense if you're in a tournament. But when you're out here angling, when you're out here just trying to have fun and you're trying to enjoy the moment and feel that primal connection with fish, I think things like bait finesse and any ultralight, presentation, I think that just brings that direct connection. If you really feel the power, you feel the grace that these fish exhibit. I don't know. I'm out here walking on a Wednesday morning. Beautiful weather. I'm so thankful that I have the opportunity to do this. And that may be a topic of another discussion, but it's not luck that got me here. My wife and I, we did a lot of things differently. Did a lot of things that looked like sacrifice for 30 years to be in the position to go fishing pretty much any Wednesday morning that I want to. So whether this ends up being an epic day of fishing, or whether it ends up just being a nice day of hiking, it's a wonderful day. And for me, this is why I fish. To get out in nature, get some exercise, put some miles on, and maybe create that memory. Who knows? Maybe this is one of my best days of fishing ever. But even if it's not, it's probably going to be better than most of my days ever working. So it's something to think about. Why do you go fishing? What is it that you're really searching for? Maybe it is the fish. I bet you there's something more to it.